masterclass, learn from me, Dr. TWL, the answers to difficult skincare questions, such as, do you really need a moisturizer when you're hot and sweaty all the time? Well, the key thing here is that what constitutes a moisturizer and its function must first be understood. Now, we mean that a moisturizer must repair and restore the skin barrier, and this does not depend on where you live or whether your environment is hot and humid or cool and dry. In tropical climates, for instance, we find that heat exacerbates transepidermal water loss despite higher humidity, and the increased sweating may worsen flare-ups of existing skin conditions such as eczema, which means that moisturizers must be applied more frequently. But wouldn't that make me hot, sweaty, and sticky? The answer isn't quite so straightforward. For instance, when it is too hot, individuals are in a flux between the humid outdoors and the cooler, drier air-conditioned indoor environments. And for those with a compromised skin barrier, this wreaks havoc as their skin struggles to adjust. If you have combination or oily skin, opt for oil in water emulsions, which are different from lotions, by the way. These are water-based and evaporate quickly. Emulsions are lightweight and are more comfortable in humid climates to apply. The key is that such moisturizers, though lightweight, it is the oil component that helps to prevent transepidermal water loss and essentially maintain effectiveness of active ingredients. The Radiance Fluid Hydrating Emulsion contains ceramide-type lipids and humectants such as glycerin and hyaluronic acid. These help to restore the skin's protective barrier without aggravating the problem of excess shine and oil production. On the other hand, hours spent in an air-conditioned environment, such as inside offices and malls, all these can lead to increased transepidermal water loss and drier skin. It is also cosmetically not so acceptable and definitely impractical to apply thick moisturizer throughout the day, especially over makeup. So my answer to another common moisturizer-related question is to simply use a moisturizing facial mist over makeup in the daytime. By the way, it's not just about spraying purified water on one's face, because that simply cools skin down. And water just evaporates off skin, it doesn't moisturize per se. An ideal facial mist, which will help calm, soothe, and moisturize irritated skin, is infused with humectants such as hyaluronic acid, also glycerin, and amino acids, which are what we call natural moisturizing factors, and they also function as antioxidants for skin repair. The base of the mist should ideally contain some type of mineral-rich water. In the case of the mineral booster, it contains purified deep sea water rather than just distilled water. The former is proven to contain minerals that can stabilize sensitive, irritated skin. So the second part of our discussion today is on the idea of overcompensation, which is a little bit hard to grasp, but essentially the idea that your skin ends up producing more oil when you don't use moisturizer. So dermatologists sometimes refer to this as paradoxical seborrhea or hyperseborrhea, which is excess production of oil because the skin somehow believes that it is dehydrated. Well, that is actually true, and is often associated with overwashing oily skin. and skipping moisturizers, eventually causing the skin to react by producing even more oil when it is stripped of its natural moisture barrier. So this is a condition which is quite commonly experienced by those who have oily skin or hyperseborrhea, and those who actually try to improve their condition by using deep cleansing products, and by doing so also skip moisturizers, not realizing that even oily skin types do need moisturizer therapy. So what's really happening here is that the skin then feels that it needs to compensate for this dryness that it's experiencing. So this leads to the skin producing more oil, and at the same time, facial eczema, because of the harsh astringent cleansers that are being used on skin, can also develop. This is often the culprit for this phenomenon we describe as the oily but dehydrated skin syndrome, which is a fine example of what we have been talking about. So what can we do to solve this problem? Essentially, to regulate the moisture barrier of naturally oily or combination type skin, I would use a pharmaceutical grade 1% at least hyaluronic acid serum that can help to regulate skin moisture without the oil that you would find in a traditional moisturizing cream formula, and one that also feels perfectly comfortable in our humid climate. At 1%, it is an intensive dose that can hydrate the skin without shine and occlusive effects. What happens over time is that the skin then starts getting acclimatized to this healthier skin microclimate, and also begins to regulate oil production much better.